What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Garden Life Podcast. We are the Duff and Dax.
So we're on a journey of discovering what it means to live whole spirit, soul, and body.
So listen along, watch us, and enjoy the journey. Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to the Garden Life Podcast. We are the Duff and Dax. We are here with episode 4. Which is crazy.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you, everybody that's listened, watched, shared, all the things. It really, really means a lot to us. We absolutely love doing this. It's amazing just to hear everybody's feedback of actually how it's helping. It's bringing new ideas, new thoughts. It's really cool. So, and like we said in the last one, we're going to be doing some Q&As and things like that to do more of interaction and answer questions that y'all might have. So we're looking forward to all that.
We're very excited for that. So we just put up our Christmas tree today, which technically it is the end of November now.
Yeah, when this airs, but we set it up before.
It might be closer to the start/middle, but that's okay. Liberty was a sweetheart, helped me put all the things on. She actually did a very good job.
Yeah,
she separated them pretty well. Okay, one thing I do want to know from you guys today is, when do you put your tree up? Do you put your tree up on November 1st? December 1st? Don't let us down. Hope it's not too late, but let us know. Well, in Ireland, we used to do it later because we had a real tree.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But I saw on Instagram or something that they were already setting up Grafton Street on like before Halloween.
That's fantastic.
They were exactly.
Oh, I'm so glad he loves this too.
I support it. Yeah, I support it.
Grafton Street is the main street in Dublin. For anyone that doesn't know, it's really sad if you don't know, but you gotta go one day.
Experience Christmas in Ireland. It's the best thing in the world.
We're not going this year for Christmas, but
yeah, we'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
That's
My
why
parents
we
are
set
coming
up our
here.
Stuff way early.
Yeah, you just have to keep your life alive over here, you know, in good old Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
Bump is absolutely out today. I'm not sure how much you can see of it, but
yeah, he's coming.
He's coming. We got to see him yesterday. So everyone's asking for the name. We are going to keep that. We are going to keep that a surprise, because everyone back home, it's funny when Americans are like, well, Bobby's going to be born on the 9th of December, 2021 or whatever. So we are keeping that one. We find out it's a boy, but we're going to keep the name. So it's a good name.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to get into today's episode. So in the past 3 episodes, we've really highlighted our physical body, how we can maybe break the mold of some things in society to help us live physically healthier, what kind of foods to eat. We'll get more in depth with like supplementation, your favorite magnesium and things like that. But there are 2 other major parts of what makes us up. So we always talk about this. To live a garden life, we want to learn what it means to live whole spirit, soul, and body. So we've really talked about body, which is a fun one to talk about. It's the one we can physically see that, you know, we all look in the mirror and, you know, want to fix this or want to fix that. So there's things that we can do and we can see what's actually happening. But the other 2 are your spirit and your soul. So today we really want to break down the soul. We want to identify, okay, what makes up our soul?
Yeah.
How does that come into who we are in our existence, in our maturity, in our all the things? We really just want to spend this episode breaking down our soul. Now, this may sound a little bit teachy at times, but I really think this can benefit all of us so much when we truly get in touch with our emotions, get in touch with the things that are motivating our decisions, and we can really start to identify, hey, I just reacted a certain way there, and that's not really who I am. Or, yeah, I shouldn't have acted that way. I knew exactly where that came from because somebody flipped me off in the parking lot the other day and I just started the day horrible. You know,
well, a lot of us just don't know why we feel these things.
Right.
So like, first of all, like we feel them, so that's fine.
Right.
But like, why do we feel them? And what are we feeling? It is okay, but we can't live in that forever, and we can fix it and we can deal with things better. So it's definitely just processing things out loud, getting vulnerable with people and talking things out helped me so much. I know help you a lot. Like, it's definitely a verbal processor.
100%.
So anyway, we can get into it, but it's just, it might, as you said, it might be teachy, but just so healthy for even us to hash out all the time and talk about.
Yeah, really just stick to the end on this one, because again, this is one of the 3 major areas that we talk about. So let's get right into it.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. So your soul. We believe that your soul is made up of these 3 things: your mind, your will, and your emotions. So your mindset, how you perceive things. Your will is basically the thing that is in you that allows you to make your own decisions.
Yep.
And then your emotions, which we all know what those are. Men, some of us don't really know where they come from or what to do with them, but you have them. And we're going to talk about those 3 things today and break down your mind, your will, and your emotions. These are the things that live in your soul.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first one is your mind, your mindset. This is how you view things. This is how you view life, how you view people. Obviously, your mindset is shaped from whoever raised you. Typically, that's what starts how you view the outside world, is whoever your guardian, your parents, whatever it was, and how that relationship was.
And even what atmosphere you were in, what culture you were in, the upbringing you were in. I know you're going to kind of touch on experiences now, but even like what your childhood experience was like.
Yeah.
Like, we have to totally get to the point of maturity to switch the mind to change that.
Yeah.
Or else typically we're still in that, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can have positive experiences, or you can also have negative experiences that give you a certain perception of how you view things. So for a lot of people, some people have experienced a certain amount of loss or something around the holidays.
Right.
So now it's like the holidays suck.
Yeah.
It's hard. And like that is a truth for them. Like they're experiencing grief around the holidays. You realize that those people aren't around. Not to get super heavy right away.
Yeah, exactly.
But our experience kind of shape our mindsets for good or bad.
Yeah.
They're a huge part of it. The other one's belief. What do you believe in? Do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? This can really shape your outlook on life. It can actually trump your upbringing, bad experiences. This is why our relationship with God is so important, is because it actually has the ultimate authority over any kind of false perception that we have.
Yeah.
Because we might have a certain example of how we view something because of an experience, and it's just straight up wrong. It's just not real. It's not true. And so we have scripture to kind of help us understand what the right mindset should be.
Yeah, the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. And so with the mind, I think as we grow older, our mindset should always be changing. Like we know those people that they just get stuck and they're like, this is who I am. This is what I believe. Yeah. We're not going to name any names, right? But immediately those people come into mind where it's like, I am who I am. I figured everything out. I know exactly what I believe. I know exactly who you are. And it's just like,
is this called pride?
Yeah, it's pride. And you don't want to be around them at all.
Yeah.
All that to say, in this area, our mindset should be changing.
Yeah.
Because we go through things every single day that have the opportunity to honestly make us hate people. Like, here's an example. I used to
oh my gosh,
wait tables all the time. Let's see, I started serving.
He started working when he was like 8 years old.
Yeah, my parents owned a restaurant, so I worked there in the summers.
Different, but you actually started your first like proper job
when I was like 13.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But we always worked summers at my parents' restaurant.
Yeah.
Spring break, like when customers would come in during the summer, they'd be like, oh, you got your kids working. And my dad used to love to say, Oh, they saw Summer Vacation. I saw Cheap Labor.
Oh my God.
It was like, well, it was true. Anyways, my point is when I got to being a server, which I'm sure people can relate to this, you have the opportunity to absolutely hate people. Like you see people at their worst when it comes to like, you're doing everything you can to give them a great experience, to make sure their water's full, to make sure you got the food right. It came out great. Everything tasting good. Amazing. You do everything perfect. And then they don't leave you a tip. Or they're just, their kids just throw crumbs everywhere and you have to clean it up. Or they're just extremely rude to you and you've done nothing wrong.
See, I can't do rude people, so I could never be in hospitality.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way.
So that example is like, okay, my years of serving, seeing people at their worst for whatever reason, it actually could give me an opportunity of just be like, gosh, people freaking suck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like people. I don't want to interact with people anymore.
And also you're working a crappy job, so you also could just hate your life.
Exactly.
Your whole mindset could just be crappy.
My experiences are telling me all these
what
things.
What did keep you going during that season?
I don't know.
Ice hockey? He played ice hockey.
Yeah, I just knew that this was a job. Like, I just needed to get through it. I understood that people are going to be who they are. Like, yeah. So all that to say, all my experiences could have took me to a mindset that I could have just stayed there of like, people stink. I don't want to be in relationships. I don't want to be in community because people are going to let you down. They're rude. All these things. I could have built this mindset around my experiences. So obviously the big question in this area is, what do we do with our mindset?
Yeah.
What do we do with our mind? How do we change our mind when we know, like, gosh, like, I know I'm just not seeing things the right way. I know that there's something in me that's making me see that person a certain way. I know there's a reason that person, every time I walk into the office, just the way they look annoys me. Like, I could understand, I can see, like, maybe it's not them. Like, maybe there's actually something going on in me. Okay, how do we change it? We believe the best way to change your mind is by speaking. Yeah. You have to declare things. You have to say things. You cannot beat a thought with another thought.
It kind of reminds me of like all the things you're saying of like the cup half full or the cup half empty. I'm like, I feel like mine was like literally tipping over my whole life just because of my mindset.
Yeah.
Like, I know I have a crazy story and things weren't always great, but even when they weren't great, I guess I just pretended they were, but it kind of helped. I would be like, everything's great. Like, remember when people were telling me about birth? I did a home birth with Liberty and people were telling me like, oh, are you sure you want to do a home birth? Like, birth's hard. And I'm like, is it though? I'm sure it'll be fantastic. I'm going to have my fairy lights, going to have my Jesus music on. It's going to be blissful. Like, and I kind of like it. I don't mind living there. I mean, you know, my parents used to say like, your head's in the clouds, you know, mm-hmm. You got to come down to reality. You got to be a bit more realistic. You're going to have to pay bills one day. And here we are paying bills and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's really annoying for some people, but it's what kept me going my whole entire life. And the word I have is hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally kept me going. Like, even remember, like, anytime we're like, oh, I think we feel a bit anxious. I'm like, no, it doesn't exist. Everything's great. There's no such thing as anxiety. Let's just be like,
yeah.
And I know it's a bit ridiculous, but it just helps me. It helps me so much. I can get super sad for 5 minutes and I can cry and I can feel sorry for myself. And then it just helps so much to just, but everything's always going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally listened to that song recently. Everything's going to be all right. Who was it by? You definitely know.
I don't know.
Okay.
You can sing it.
If anyone's interested, let me know. But it literally, I do need to remind myself of that. But whenever I get back to that place of like, oh, everything's always going to be okay. Like, I'm always going to be okay. Everything's always going to be fine. That's always helped me with my mindset.
Yeah. I mean, what you're talking about is speaking things out, declaring things, which is like, when it gets to that point of being super sad or whatever, that's the most important time that you need to change your mindset. Like, you're down in the dumps, things are crap.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Well, that's why. So when I didn't really know what like declarations were. I guess I was kind of doing it for a chunk of my life. But Blake and I were married about 3 days. And why did we do this? Because it was your idea. Did someone tell you one of the most important things to do is to, when you get married, write declarations for your family? Or did you literally just on the spot feel like we should do this?
Yeah. Like our first date, we sat under the Sundial Bridge in Redding, California for like 6 hours. And we talked about everything.
Yeah.
But a huge topic was what my family's like, what my parents were like, what your family's like, what your parents were like. And you're from the other side of the world. And we're like getting to know each other, getting to know cultures. And it's like, this is how we do things. This is how y'all did things. So it was like, I think there was just something in me that knew, okay, we need to identify, what do we believe?
Yeah.
What do we want for our family? Because there's amazing things from mine that we want to bring to ours. There's amazing things from yours that we want to bring to ours, but we still want it to be our family.
Right.
And we just got married. Like, this is the start of everything. So the most important time to base whatever we're going to live the rest of this life off of is, okay, let's identify what are our beliefs as a family? What's going to shape the reason we make choices? What's going to shape the reasons that we enter relationships? Like, so that was really the point of like, we need to identify.
So these are like our family declarations. Of course, we have, you can have daily declarations. We do, like we're saying, we speak life over ourselves, over each other, over community, over friends, over liberty. But these are our family declarations.
The reason declarations are so important, which you may be listening and be like, this sounds so cheesy. Let me just challenge you. You cannot defeat a thought with another thought. You need to speak something and say something in order to interrupt what's going on in your head. So, like I said, if you're down in the dumps, if you're suffering from anxiety, from depression, and you're just stuck in it, you cannot think your way out of it.
Yeah.
You need to start speaking and saying, I know this sucks, but I know I'm going to get through it. Hey, I know things are hard right now, but I know that I'm going to get healed, or I'm going to, whatever it is. I may have lost my job yesterday, but I know I can find a new one tomorrow. Yeah. You need to hear yourself say it, because when you speak it, you start to believe it. Yeah. So this is why declarations are so important. We even, as far as our family decorations.
Today was a good day.
Our family decoration. Oh my God. Our family declarations. We would say them as a family, Vicky and I together, of what we believe. We have a little thing made that hangs above our fireplace. And we would say them with Liberty all the time. And now she's 2.5. And like the other day, she was in the other room and I just hear her like declaring what our family believes. Like, she just knows it by memory now. And it's like, the more she says that, the more she's going to believe she is powerful. The more she's going to believe that she walks in faith. The more she's going to believe that she is loved, that God is with her. Like, the more she says it, the more she's going to believe it. And then it's going to be a subconscious thing of like, this is actually what's going to shape the way she makes decisions. Because if she knows she's powerful, she's not going to settle for some punk that don't freak. Sorry, I'm not going to get on that. But if she knows she's powerful, she's not going to let some guy come in.
Well, she'll just.
That's it.
Okay.
I don't need to go any more than that.
Well, she'll just know that these are the Duff and Dak declarations. Yeah. This is my heritage. This is where I come from. This is our lineage. Is that the right word?
Sure.
Like, this is who we are.
Yeah.
This is who I am. So, I mean, if anyone hasn't done that, if anyone just got married recently and doesn't have family if someone doesn't have family declarations, then I would highly recommend doing it. It is so fun. We do it either sometimes in the morning or before dinner. Like when we're just sitting there before we say grace, sometimes Liberty's already pounding her fist at the table. It's a lot of fun. We love it.
It is. And again, it's just that thing that when things get crazy or there has to be a big decision to make or whatever, it's something you can always go back to of like, oh, what's the reason we're making this decision?
Yeah.
Remember what we actually believe.
And daily declarations.
Which, yeah, that really leads us right into our next category, which is your will. So remember, mind, will, emotions. Your will is the thing that allows you to make decisions.
Yeah.
You have free will. You get to decide whatever you want to do.
Scary.
There's consequences to it. But I think the first thing to identify when it comes to your will is, what is the thing that's motivating you? Like, what is the foundation thing of why you're making all of your decisions? Like, truly going deep and figuring out, what is my main motivator?
Yeah.
Why am I making decisions? Am I making decisions because I want to climb the corporate ladder, because I want money, I want to be successful? Because if that's the motivation, then that's where all your decisions are coming from.
Yeah.
That's where you're choosing your relationships. It goes into every area.
Yeah.
So it's very important to identify what is motivating your will. Is it you just want to be accepted? That's a dangerous place to be, because then you're going to turn into whoever somebody needs you to be.
Yeah.
And your decisions are just going to be because you want to be accepted. A couple other examples could be maybe you were really hurt before, and now your will has changed. The motivation of why you make decisions is you just want to avoid pain.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to be hurt like that again. So now this is driving your decision making of like, I can't handle that again. I need to avoid any pain.
Yeah.
I can't take it. And then that starts being your main motivation. Or maybe it's pleasure. Maybe it's like, I just want happiness all the time. And I never want to feel pain, never want to go through pain. I just want to go after pleasure in the things that just make me feel good. That sounds nice, but it's actually very dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think your story that you told.
That's where I ended up.
Yeah.
Extremely selfish.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. In that season, whatever got in the way of my happiness would just have to get out of the way. I actually vividly remember a conversation with my mum when I was basically admitting and laughing to her about it. We were laughing, but we weren't laughing together. My mum was like, "Who are you?" But it was just a moment where I realized, like, I'm so incredibly selfish. I'm going to do whatever I want. I get to do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I mean, I was like 25 or 26. This is my personal training days.
Yeah.
Like, I was not a kid. Maybe I was 26. I don't know. But it was just a bad place to be in. No, nothing else mattered. No one else mattered.
Yeah.
When you put yourself first, like the world says, like, put yourself first, do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Like, the consequences don't even matter. You just find yourself in a really lonely place.
Like, live by your own truth. Like, those kind of mantras are very dangerous.
Yeah.
And selfish.
Yeah. Like, going back to my story, I literally lived my whole life making decisions for myself on what was going to give me the best life and me the happiest life. So I chased, as we all know, I chased happiness my whole life, which led me to all these different countries, making all these stupid mistakes. And we all know I ended up in the pits. There was no life. It was bringing me to death. Like, I literally felt like I was in the pits going to die.
Yeah.
This is where I came to the end of myself. And that's when I realized, oh, we're not meant to do this by ourselves. Like, we're not meant to carry the weight of our life and our calling. Like, God already has a whole plan for me. So the second that I surrendered everything to God and said, it's not my way, it's yours. Like, the second that I did that, like, well, you created me, so you probably have a better plan for me than I do for myself anyway. The second that I realized all of that, my life radically changed. I know we said we'd go into this more in detail. It still might not be the right episode. But the second I did that, I go home to Ireland. I get plugged into a church. God tells me again, very clearly, I heard his voice, like talking to me about Bethel. I kept listening to Bethel's music, like Bethel was on the tip of my tongue. I go to Bethel. So my whole life, as we all know, I have prayed for the perfect man, the perfect husband. The second that I gave it all up to him, he tells me to go to Bethel, and I meet you 2 weeks into school.
Yeah.
My whole life, my dream, you know, obviously there is more to just getting married, but this was it was the deepest desire of my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to happen. It was still always a little treasure in my heart.
We always tried to make it happen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I said this in the last one. I might have. But what's funny is I made every decision with what guy I thought I was going to end up with. So I was trying to make these decisions, end up with these guys. And again, I heard God's voice very clearly say to me, hey, you've chosen them all. Mm-hmm. I'm going to choose the next one. Like the second that I let him dictate my life and speak into my life and lead me, the second that I let God lead my life, this is where he's brought me. Like, so really we do still have there. We have a will, we have choices. We still have choices. Of course 100%. We do.
Yeah.
But it's just completely changed now.
I mean, I think that's exactly the point of like, it's very hard to control your mind, your emotions, your will on your own. Like ours is,
we're humans.
It's your motivation is going to run out. Your motivation is going to change.
Yeah.
So it's like, you may be motivated by money now, and you may be motivated by health in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to change. Your convictions are the things that is going to drive your will and help you be grounded, go back to something of this is what I make my decisions from. Our convictions is our relationship with God. He's radically changed both of our lives. He's brought us so much. He's taken away all the junk. Like, we could not be where we are without him. Mm-hmm. That may sound strange to some listeners, but we cannot deny what we've experienced.
Yeah.
We can't deny the freedom in our soul, the freedom of like, I don't have to make every right decision, but I have somebody I can talk to about it. I have community that I can be in relationship with that can help me identify what I'm doing, where am I going, all of these things. I think it's a huge, huge important thing when it comes to will.
Yeah.
Of what is the thing that's driving you? What's the thing that's motivating you? Identifying that, and then it'll help you realize what you're making decisions from.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, let's jump into this third one, emotions. I know this is, like we've said at the beginning, a little teachy, but I think it's so important to identify what are your motivations, why is your mindset the way they are. A good way to identify these is by emotions. Mm-hmm. I see emotions as like a check engine light. So imagine you're in your car and all of a sudden this light starts flashing. You have to address it. You have to figure out, okay, why is that one means that I have low tire pressure. I need to go and address my tire.
Right.
This is what I believe emotions were designed for, is it's actually an indicator of what's going on the inside of you. Yeah. So if your emotions are an indicator of what's going on the inside, we should actively be not critiquing ourselves, but like if we're going through something, let's just say we're talking to our spouse and all of a sudden we just get super angry. That should be an indicator of like, okay, something else is going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually just because they said that thing. There's something else going on that you got so angry about something so small. Another indicator is like you're scrolling through social media and it's like you see somebody that you used to know and it looks like they're just killing it.
Right.
They're just winning in life. Looks like they have everything. And all of a sudden you start getting jealous. This is a check engine light. This jealousy thing should be something like, you should ask yourself, why do I feel jealous right now? I haven't seen or talked to that person in 5 years. Like, am I not happy with where I am in life?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just there's an insecurity that I didn't realize I had that now I need to address.
Yeah.
I think that's a major one. So
Like not blaming the other person. Like, well, actually, you know what? They're probably doing crap because Instagram's fake anyway. It's
100%.
like, oh no, maybe I'm a little insecure. Maybe they, whatever. Like,
I mean, that's a perfect example of how our emotions can drive our behavior.
oh yeah.
Our emotions can drive our mindset. Our emotions can now drive our will because now it's motivating the reason we make decisions. Like just that one emotion, that small emotion of jealousy that happened in a split second can result in that.
And it is crazy that no one can make you feel anything. So when you start spiraling that you literally hate this person now. This person you went to high school with, well, you hate them. They're like, well, really, they were losers. They probably still are. Like, whatever.
Screw you, Brenda.
Oh my gosh. You're literally just like, no, they just look better than me, or they look like they're having a better life than me, or, well, they have a bunch of kids and aren't having it yet. Like, and that's okay.
Well, it can actually lead you to a place of like, oh, maybe there's something in me I need to address.
If you've maturity, it can lead you there.
Exactly. And that can lead you to growing up.
Yeah.
Getting healthier, being more mature.
Well, my whole life, literally, and I know a lot of women do say this, like that I was like a roller coaster. So I had polycystic ovaries. So I was put on the pill when I was super young, and then the pill messes up your emotions. So I don't know what was me. I don't know what was the pill, but I do know that my emotions were crazy, like a roller coaster. So my highs were super high. My lows were super low. I was a hot mess. I was either like, I could flip in a minute.
Yeah.
In a minute. But I would stay there. Like I would get into the lows and I would stay there. I'd feel sorry for myself. I'd listen to depressing music. James Blunt was fantastic back then.
So beautiful.
It's true. Yeah. It's actually a fantastic song. But I actually remember I used to drive around in Ireland, pouring rain, listening.
But
like,
you love to actually love.
I'm not
to
a good singer. I'm sorry.
Feels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it. I used to write like depressing poems and like. But I'm very rarely like that now.
I don't think that's bad as long as it's not destructive.
No, I used to just go there for like a day, whereas now it's like 5 minutes because I want to get over it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I know we're talking about soul. I'm bringing just a little bit of food and sleep and stuff back into this, but we all know they are tied together. Mm-hmm. So just an example of this is, for me, when you're talking about emotions, it's like, okay, let's be rational and not irrational, because my whole life, like I was saying, this roller coaster, I was irrational. I literally thought the world was ending. I would have an emotion and I would freak out because 2 minutes ago I was happy and now I'm really sad and I'm freaking out and probably going to be happy. And it was just like, it just swung the whole time.
Yeah.
So some mornings I wake up and I'm tired and I have no energy. Okay. Check light, like you said. Mm-hmm. Well, let's be rational. Oh, I only slept 5 hours last night. Work's been really busy this week. Oh, that's why I'm frustrated. Oh my goodness, I haven't had much water this morning. And I just had a coffee and my heart's racing. And now I'm feeling, which is emotion. Now I'm feeling like I could have a heart attack, or now I'm feeling like anxious.
Yeah.
Oh, I just haven't had water. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pour a glass. I'm going to sit down and just take a minute to myself.
Yeah.
So what helps me so much is to be rational. Like if either of us are ever feeling anxious, we can talk to each other and be like, okay, like this sounds ridiculous, but like go and get some food, have some water, go for a walk. Do you need fresh air? Like what do you need? Because we can get past this.
Yeah.
Like we can handle this emotion, and there could just be a very natural reason for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
like that
so
helps
good.
me so much.
Yeah.
I thought I was insane. Like I thought I was crazy from my whole life until a couple of years ago. I just thought I was a girl, hormonal, emotional, roller coaster. This is what I'm like. This is my personality. I'm just emotional.
Oh, wow.
But I can control my emotions now. I
Very
can.
good.
They still come
Sure.
a couple times a day, but it just helps me to be rational, not irrational.
Yeah, you're putting them in their right place. Like we said, emotions should be indicators. They shouldn't be the driver.
Oh, yeah.
They shouldn't be the thing that's driving our life, our decisions, our relationships. They should be indicators that's saying like, hey, get more sleep. Hey, your body's lacking nourishment.
Yeah.
That's why you're hangry, which we've talked about.
Yes.
Like another thing is like, I've done this a lot. And just a disclaimer, if you don't know, like, we're not saying we nail this.
No.
Like, we're not preaching at anyone. Like, this is something that
Blake was sad yesterday for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, right before we were going to set up our Christmas tree, I was like, I don't want to.
He was just in the weirdest mood. I was like, what's wrong with you?
We couldn't set up our Christmas tree.
And I'll tell you why.
Upset.
He was watching Liberty all day yesterday and they didn't get out of the house much. They were both just bored. That was the reason for it.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
It's the truth.
Yeah. And so we are figuring this thing out. We have the principle, but application is what we're always working on. But yeah, I mean, to that point, like yesterday, being angry, being down on myself, whatever, is like, oh, you're just bored.
Yeah.
You just haven't got out today. And it's like, even in certain seasons, it's like, oh, nothing's actually giving me life that I'm doing. Like, I need to actually do something like a hobby, go hang out with some friends, talk to them about what's going on, whatever it is. Like, what gives you life?
Yeah.
You need to have a hobby. You need to do something that's feeding your soul.
Yeah.
If you're just grinding and working and doing all these things all the time, your soul's going to be drained.
Yeah.
And your emotions are going to be out of whack. Mm-hmm. So your mind, your will, and your emotions. We'll wrap it up here with these few things that we believe can actually feed your soul. If it's drained, if something's out of whack, we believe that these are tools that we can use to feed our soul. So the first one, we talked about declarations, speaking things out, reminding yourself what you believe. Next one is discipline. Discipline can actually feed your soul. It can actually bring life to your soul. With your mindset, with your will, your emotions, when you have discipline to say, no, I'm not going to give in to that emotion, or even you're going through pain, you're going through adversity, I'm going to have discipline to go through this instead of try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Discipline can actually feed your soul. The other one, for us, prayer is key. Prayer is massive to us, to communicate with God what's going on, to let him speak into it, which again may sound crazy to some people listening. God cares about your situation. He wants to get involved in your situation. He knows what's going on, and he can help you process things and actually wants to do that for you.
Yeah.
So we pray, we bring what's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly in prayer, and we come out different. We come out with a different perspective.
Okay, so the last two that we hold huge value for is community and family.
Yeah.
So community, being around the people we love, being around people that pour into us and that we get to pour into, having food with them, hanging out with them, getting coffee, lunch with them, doing life with them, that gives us a lot of life, and that really helps in these three areas. It helps our soul. It feeds our soul.
100%.
And then family. Tonight we put all the Christmas stuff up. We're gonna sit down and watch Santa Claus, and we're just gonna. You can already feel it. You can already feel.
It's beginning to look a lot.
You can already feel the feels. So family, huge one for us.
Yeah, we should have put food in here. Like, good food feeds your soul too.
Good food.
Just a plug.
Yeah.
But with community and family, really just look at your life. Like, do you have people that actually know you?
Yeah.
Do you have people that know you? Your emotions,
the good, bad,
your why?
the ugly.
Yeah, like somebody that you can talk to about anything.
Yeah.
It's so important. We can't do this life on our own.
No.
And honestly, we weren't created to.
Yeah.
So those two are massive.
Yeah. Sorry if this one's been a little heavy, but it's honestly given me a big refresh. I love that check light thing. I'm going to be thinking about that now. It just really helps to go back and to look at all of these things. Look at your mind, look at your will, look at your emotions, and just see how you're doing. So hopefully, you know, someone else listening to this, you can process it together. It's a big episode. But again, let us know what you enjoyed, any feedback, any specific questions you have from what we've been talking about. We would love them. Please comment or give us a message, and give us some questions for the next episode. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in and joining us on this journey of living a garden life. See you next week.
Bye.